I think prin should absolutely be illegal. When Matt Fradd said these words on Pints With Aquinas, the internet lit up. For some, it was refreshing to hear someone speak boldly against what's often brushed aside as harmless fun. For others, it sounded like censorship or moral policing. But Matt isn't just ranting, he's reasoning. Backed by science, philosophy, and human experience, his argument cuts deeper than morality. It's about freedom, human dignity, and societal health. This isn't about prudishness or outdated values. It's about confronting an industry that thrives on addiction, objectification, and broken relationships. And it's about asking the hard question, what kind of society do we want to become? This conversation isn't just for believers, it's for everyone who values truth, love, and human worth. Part 2. The Illusion of Freedom, 180 words. One of the most common defenses of prin is it's my choice. But Matt Fradd argues that this so-called freedom is often an illusion. Prin hijacks the brain's reward system, similar to cocaine. It floods the mind with dopamine, gradually dulling natural joy and training users to seek ever more extreme content just to feel a spark. What begins as curiosity becomes compulsion. What starts as just a look often ends in addiction, shame, and secrecy. This isn't moral panic, it's neuroscience. Studies from institutions like Cambridge and Brain Research show that *RN consumption rewires the brain, making it harder to experience real intimacy, connection, or love. How free are you when your choices are driven by a chemical dependency? Is that liberation or just another form of enslavement? As Matt puts it, freedom isn't the ability to do whatever we want, it's the power to do what we ought. Real freedom builds *RN destroys. Part 3. *RN and human dignity, 180 words. Behind every video is a real human being, often a hurting one. Matt Fradd pulls back the curtain on an industry that thrives on exploitation. Countless women, many of them trafficked, manipulated, or economically desperate, end up in front of the camera. Consent in this context becomes blurry at best and horrifying at worst. Even in legal productions, the line between performance and coercion is thin. Performers report lasting trauma, mental health breakdowns, and physical injury. The industry's response: silence and profit. When we watch prin, we don't just look at a screen, we participate in a system that treats people as objects, not persons. Catholic philosopher Carol Wojtyła once wrote, "The opposite of love is not hate, it's use." Prin teaches us to use others, to reduce the sacredness of the body to an empty image. Matt's call to ban *RN isn't just a religious plea, it's a defense of human dignity, both for the viewer and the viewed. It's about restoring a culture where people are seen, not consumed. Part 4. The Social Fallout, 200 words. The effects of *RN don't stop at the screen, they spill into relationships, marriages, and communities. Matt Fradd shares stories of spouses devastated by betrayal, of young men who can't maintain real intimacy, of teenagers exposed to graphic material before they've even kissed someone. This isn't rare, it's the new norm. *RN fuels unrealistic expectations about sex and bodies, leading to dissatisfaction, isolation, and resentment. Many users become numb to normal affection, and even suffer from porn-induced erectile dysfunction, a condition virtually unknown before high-speed internet. It's also shaping the next generation. Children stumble upon hardcore material with a few clicks, forming their understanding of sex through a lens of violence and objectification. What's the cost of raising kids in a culture where exploitation is entertainment? Matt challenges us: would we allow other addictive, damaging content to flood homes and minds without regulation? No one argues for heroin to be free and accessible, yet prin, proven to be equally addictive and harmful, faces little legal resistance. If we care about the health of future generations, we can't afford silence. Part 5. The Legal Question, 160 words. Now comes the tough part. Should *RN be illegal? Matt Fradd says yes, not because he wants a theocracy, but because society already bans what it deems harmful. We outlaw child exploitation, drug trafficking, and violent content for a reason. So why exempt *RN? The First Amendment protects speech, but even free speech has limits. Libel, obscenity, incitement to violence, none are protected. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that obscenity is not protected speech, and that states can regulate it. The problem is lack of enforcement and a culture that's too desensitized to care. Matt doesn't call for mass arrests. He envisions a phased cultural and legal shift, public education, restricted access, age verification, and eventually laws that recognize *RN as a public health hazard. answered. The goal isn't punishment, it's protection. Protecting children, protecting relationships, protecting the soul of a culture that's forgotten what it means to truly love. Part 6. A call to courage. Matt Fradd knows his stance won't win applause. It's unpopular, it's controversial, but that doesn't make it wrong. Courage is saying what needs to be said, even when it costs. And in a society flooded with images that cheapen love and distort desire, we need more courageous voices. This isn't just about laws, it's about hearts, about reclaiming real love over lust, real intimacy over illusion. It's about building a culture that doesn't settle for gratification, but reaches for greatness. Matt's final plea is not just to lawmakers but to all of us, to parents, teachers, leaders, and young people. Don't be passive, be bold, speak truth, love deeply, and dare to imagine a world where human dignity is never for sale. Part 7. The hidden cost. Mental health, identity, and silence. Matt Fradd doesn't just speak about the physical or societal damage caused by PARN, he also brings focus to the deep psychological cost it inflicts on individuals, especially the young. Behind closed doors, in dorm rooms and bedrooms, a silent crisis is brewing. Depression, anxiety, social withdrawal, and identity confusion are all increasingly linked to compulsive PARN use. Young people today are forming their sense of self, love, and sexuality through distorted, commercialized content that tells them they're not enough unless they perform, look, or act a certain way. The damage isn't always visible, but it's profoundly real. Matt points out that most people don't even want to be watching *RN. They feel trapped, ashamed, isolated, but no one talks about it because it's been normalized to the point of invisibility. He asks, what if silence is the real danger? Breaking the silence starts with telling the truth, and telling the truth, no matter how unpopular, is the first step toward healing a generation that's quietly crying out for something more than pleasure. They're longing for meaning. Conclusion. Matt Fradd's statement, "I think PARN should absolutely be illegal," is not just a controversial opinion, it's a prophetic challenge in a world drowning in digital noise and moral confusion. His words strike at the heart of a deeper crisis: our forgotten identity, our dulled sense of worth, and our passive acceptance of a culture that profits from brokenness. This isn't a call to control people, it's a call to set them free. Free from addiction, free from distorted love, free from industries that use pleasure as a weapon. It's a call to remember that human beings are not products, bodies are not commodities, and love was never meant to be bought or sold. Matt reminds us that banning *RN is not the end goal, it's a step toward building a society where men and women can flourish, where sex is seen as sacred, not shameful, where youth can grow up unshackled by lies. The real question isn't whether his words are extreme, the question is whether our silence is even more so, because the cost of doing nothing might just be our humanity.